Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of Day in Minnesota. It's great to be back, and just in time for the Rice County Fair, which officially opens with flag raising ceremony at 5:30 tomorrow evening. But there I see John Dvorak, Executive Secretary of the Rice County Fair, who's our guest today. There's some activity on the fairgrounds today. There's a 4-H cat show going on.
Yeah, Jerry, with all the great programs 4-H has going, we just run out of days and time during the fair, so there's several events that the 4-H puts on prior to the fair. Ultimately, you'd like to see everything done at the county fair. That's what they work for. That's kind of what their goal is. But just circumstances just doesn't allow all of them to happen at the same time, and so unfortunately, we have to have a few 4-H events that happen prior to the fair.
Yeah, well, you have some judging that actually happened last week, too.
Exactly so, you had this gals with their clothing and, excuse me, the style show, and so there were the fashion review. So, that all happens prior to the fair, and, that way then they get this out of the way, and then, too, they get to enjoy the fair a little bit more with their other stuff.
So that cat show is at 4 o'clock this afternoon, followed by a pet show on the Cannon Stage at the Rice County Fairgrounds.
Exactly.
And
so
it's perfect weather-wise.
Perfect weather-wise. They're saying today that it was the last day of the high humidity that we're going to have, and it's supposed to leave us this evening and tonight, and then tomorrow they're talking high 70s, low 80s. I'll take that. We'll take that. You don't have that hot, scorching sun. They're not even predicting hot weather. And so, all we can do is pray to God that they're right, and the weather cooperates with us, and that gives everybody a chance to come on out and enjoy the fair, and everything is coming and falling into place, and I think we have a great lineup. Many volunteers, and then some are putting their best foot forward, their heart and soul into this to make this a grand event. It's our biggest event in Rice County for the year. And come on out and enjoy this Rice County Fair. I mean, that's what it's here for. It's for the people of Rice County. It's for the people that are surrounding Rice County. It's for the people. And that's the one goal that we have in mind. We put on a good fair, for the people, not for ourselves, but for the people.
Now, I see in your premium book, which I'm sure people can get.
They're still around. They're still available.
At various locations.
At various locations, that's right.
When's the deadline to do the Mega Ride tickets?
The Mega Ride tickets is tomorrow. For the Mega Ride tickets, to pick them up at the grocery store. I know in the past we've still sold them in our office. I know the Carnival still sells them, but just beware, if the Carnival is going to be selling them, the price might go up a little bit. I don't know. I haven't really talked to Mike about that yet. But they'll still be available, but they'll be purchased at the fair itself. And then when they purchase them, they'll go ahead then and they'll just take the picture and get their name badge right then as they pick them up. So in the past, we've sold them at the fair after the deadline, and we sold quite a few of them, in fact, last year that way. So they'll be available.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but the Gillen building is the open class building, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, and there's a lot of activity going on there. Everybody is coming in and bringing in their projects, and they're getting them, registering them if they're not registered yet, and they're being judged today. And so that's a lot of stuff going on there in that Gillen building, getting all that stuff taken care of.
What is the exhibit building number 2?
Exhibit building number 2 would probably be where the commercial exhibits are.
Okay. The reason I ask is, tomorrow night at 7, they have homemade country wine and beer judging going on in the Blue Room. In the Blue Room,
correct. Yeah. So, that's always a fun event. People bring in their homemade wines and brews, and it's a fun event. And it'd be kind of nice to see that event grow a little bit further. And eventually, I think it will, because there's more and more people that get into it. And it's just a fun event, and it's just a fun way for people to come out and gee, how good is my stuff, And so, it's just a fun activity for them.
The open class exhibits going in today, the livestock starting tomorrow, right?
I'm sure there'll be some that will trickle in this evening, and the one fortunate thing is, they're predicting cooler weather, so that's going to make it a little bit easier on them animals tomorrow. But a lot of them, when they're bringing in their animals, they like to come in when it's cool, so they have a cool ride coming into town. So, a lot of them might come in tonight, and then the rest of them will come in tomorrow, because by tomorrow afternoon, that's when the fair starts, and everything's got to be in place. So.
And I hope you don't mind, I'm going to do a little editorial here. One of the things I love about the Rice County Fair is we don't diss agriculture.
No.
I mean, we embrace it, because that's our roots, right?
That's exactly right, and that's what this state was built on. That's what this county was built on, agriculture. And times have changed. They're not like they were 40, 50, 60 years ago. But with change, you have to accept the changes. And I think we're embracing the changes very well in agriculture, and which is a good thing. And environmentally, and the stewardship of land, I think all these farmers that are out there now in agriculture, they're out there, and they're preserving the land, and they need to be recognized for that. You have your companies out there that sell the chemicals and the fertilizers and the seeds. They're spending tons of money on finding ways that they can be environmentally friendly to the soils, and so everybody's working together, and it's good to see that. And it's a great way for agriculture to come together here at the Rice County Fair, because that's what fairs, why they started, and that's what fairs are for, and especially here in Rice County. And we support our agriculture and we also support all the other businesses that are in Rice County also. And so I encourage everybody, come on out and have a good time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of agriculture, we're going to talk about a new thing that people are going to be able to see at the Rice County Fair. When our next segment comes our way. By the way, our AM Minnesota shows all this week at the Rice County Fair and today, brought to you by Garlic's Water Conditioning here in Faribault. So they invite you to stop on out to the Rice County Fairgrounds, and John Dvorak will continue our conversation about the fair right after we get our opening market report. Quality Upholstery and Construction. Check out northlandbuildings.com. As I mentioned, Garlic's going to do our AM Minnesota show throughout the week from the Rice County Fair. It is Rice County Fair Week. John Dvorak is in studio, and boy, I just went out and took a few pictures this morning. It's already bustling with activity on the fairgrounds, John, and I love the new pavement going into the fairgrounds there on the east end.
Yeah, that's really worked out good. We got the road refinished throughout on the kind of the south side of the fairgrounds, the main road that goes through. And what a great way to start off the fair, because now it's not only made it a better looking road, but it's also safer. You don't have to worry about walking through and hitting in a pothole and twisting an ankle and stuff. So we got a nice smooth surface, and it was long coming and long awaited. And we're glad we have it.
And you have a number of organizations, I know a lot of churches, groups, and whatnot help with the parking.
We do, yeah, we've got volunteers come in and help with the parking, and we have some individuals that actually come and work and help with the parking, taking the tickets and taking the money. And, the parking, that's a big part of our revenue at the fair. And, it's $5 a car to pay it, and it's for all day, and that's what helps us get all the acts that we do. That's what helps cover the cost on those acts. It's an important part of our fair, the parking is.
Yeah, the free entertainment's unbelievable.
It is. It actually starts off tonight. We're very, very fortunate. Immediately following the Queen coronation, we have the Faribault Community Band that's going to come in and play tonight, and we're really excited about that. Again, they come on and they practice, and what way to come out and entertain than at the Rice County Fair. So we're looking forward for that. Wednesday night, we got several things going on. We're going to have a little ribbon cutting ceremony for our new addition that we have at the Historical Society with our barn on the fairgrounds. And then of course we're celebrating KDHL's 70th birthday on the Selner stage, and we have the Jolly Peas out of New Prague Minnesota that are going to be performing for us tomorrow or Wednesday evening. So really looking forward to that. They're a great band, and they have a lot of fun, and they put out some great music. And really come on out and enjoy that, because I think that you'll have a lot of fun listening to them. Thursday night, that's another big night. That's when we have our annual tradition where the White Sidewalls come and perform on the Sellner stage. Free entertainment on the Sellner stage with the White Sidewalls. And they put on year after year a great show. They're still strong and singing as strong as they've sang, I think, since when they started. A lot of people come out and listen to them. They have a great time listening to them. And I think the weather's going to cooperate with us. And so come on out and have a fun time at the Rice County Fair listening to the White Sidewalls. Also in the beer garden, we have a new group that's going to be playing there. It's called the Jupes. They're a three-piece band out of Apple Valley. So they're going to be playing in the beer garden on Thursday night. Friday night on the Sellner stage, free entertainment again. We have Brad Boyce, the Elvis impersonator. He puts on a great show. A lot of people, was by popular demand that we bring him back. We had a lot of phone calls in to the office. Can we please bring back Brad Boyce? So we're going to be bringing back him on Saturday night. Then in the beer garden on Friday night. On Friday night, we're going to in the beer garden. We have the Old Country Boys that are going to be playing in the beer garden. So just can't keep away from that. I'll put it on vibrate. Sorry about that. No. So we're going to have the Old Country Boys playing in the beer garden on Friday night. And so that'll be a fun group to listen to. Saturday night on the free stage, we have a Mexican band called La Raza de Mexico. Of course, they're going to be playing Mexican music, and that's another great group that comes out and really livens up the fairgrounds with their music. And then in the beer garden on Saturday night, we have Street Talk that's going to be playing in the beer garden on Saturday night. So yeah. And then on the free stage, the Cannon stage, we've got Electric Fusion. She's going to be playing throughout the days at the fair. And then we got some free entertainment coming out. We got Tui the Juggler that's going to be performing various times of the day. And all this information, you can either find it in the fair book at one of the local businesses passing it out, or you can go to our website, ricecountyfair.net, and all this information is on the website. So or don't hesitate to call the office if you have any questions. And then also for free entertainment, we have Brodini the Magician coming out, and he is a fantastic performer, and we're very fortunate that he's able to make it to our fair. We have a Wild Things Zoo coming out. They're going to be at the fair this year. They have an exotic display of animals. That's something that we have new coming out, and they're going to be putting on a program during Kids Day at noon on the Cannon stage. So there'll be something there for the kids to see. We have the circus coming into the fairgrounds again like we did last year. We had a circus that performed 3 or 4 times during the day, and then we got that same circus that's going to be performing. That was a real big hit last year. A lot of people, the bleachers were always full, so I was glad that people took advantage and watched that entertainment. So, and if I missed any other ones, you'll just have to find that all on the website or in our premium book. And it's going to be a fun time for all. We have food vendors. We have about 27, 28 food vendors that are going to be out at the fair this year, plus 4-H has got their food stand open in the 4-H building. You have the BA stand that's always serves great food. St. Luke's always serves great food. So those are the permanent stands that are out there, and come on out and enjoy some of that fair food. Only once a year you get it here at the Rice County Fair, so come on out and just show these people that you enjoy eating their food, and taste good, and they make great food, and I think everybody's going to be happy with them.
Yeah. The farmers back?
And the farmers are back, correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're in the old, I believe it was the Elks
yeah. Yep.
Or the Exchange Club that had that, yes, I'm sorry, but they're back also. So, and then the various other food vendors that are out there. We've got food vendors that have been coming to the years, 40 plus years, to the Rice County Fair. and something that's got to say something in itself, about having these people come back time after time after time to the Rice County Fair. And so they wouldn't be coming back if it wasn't a good fair. So we really appreciate everybody that comes out. And it's not one thing that makes a county fair. It's all the little things. I tell everybody it's the small stones that make the bucket heavier, and that's true with the Rice County Fairs, because you've got so many different entities and so many different people that work together to do their best to put on a great time for 1 week at the fair. So I can't thank all these people enough, and the only way to really reward their work is people come on out and see what it's all about and have a good time.
Well, if you go through all the buildings, you could spend a whole day on the fairgrounds. There's no question about that. There's so much to see, and what I love about fairs too, John, is you learn something. I mean,
yes,
it's educational.
Yes, you do. And one of the things that we really tried to concentrate on this year was in our conservation building. I've got a new gal that kind of took charge of that building, and she's got some great things planned out in that conservation building. We got some great programs set up for Kids Day and Daycare Day. We got some programs set up for those individuals coming in. So, if you have a daycare out there and don't feel that you needed to register, we'll still be able to register you on Thursday morning. So if you got some children that you want to bring out to the fair, it's a great time. It's a great event for them, and they'll have a lot of fun.
I'm chuckling because John's phone has been ringing off the hook. You might have been hearing the vibration there. We're going to take a little break here from Garlic's Water. We'll bring you our AM Minnesota shows each and every day of this week from the Rice County Fair here in Faribault. We invite everybody in the KDHL listening area to come to KDHL's hometown fair, the Rice County Fair, where we're going to be celebrating our 70th birthday.
Are you fed up with fighting rust stains and hard water problems?
I thought my phone rang a lot.
We have a system that can solve all your headaches. A Kinetico water system.
That time
we have
of
a
year.
wide range of Kinetico water systems to fix any
minutes,
problem,
right?
big or small. Give me a call at 800-722-1282 or go online at garlicswater.com and let me show you what I can do to help. At Garlic's Water, your
What's
water
up?
has never been treated so well.
No, I'm at the radio station. I'm on the radio. I'm on a break right now.
All right, John Dvorak is the Executive Secretary of the Rice County Fair. He is
From
with
what?
us on our AM Minnesota show. He's in studio today.
Well,
we are in
yeah,
studio
my
today.
office.
We'll be out at
Okay.
the fairgrounds all the
Chris
remainder
will be
of the
back
week,
shortly.
starting tomorrow.
What do you
running
need?
all the way through the fair. So we're looking forward to that. Of course, tomorrow night, yours truly will be
Okay.
emceeing the Rice
We'll
County
be
Fair
back
Queen
here.
Coronation.
I'll be back
We've been
at
doing
10.
that for a couple of decades now.
Yep.
Starts at 7. We will be broadcasting that as well on the airwaves. That'll be followed by the terrific Faribault Community Band, and I know they've been trying to get me to join them for the last I don't know how many years with my baritone, but I don't have a baritone. And last time I talked to them, they said, we'll find you a baritone.
Okay.
So I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. Someday I guess I'll have to try and see if I can get my lip back.
Well, in your retirement years, you can do that.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Gordy.
Actually, it was fun when I did it back in the day. Not that I was ever really good at it.
Well, but you played it, so you had to be fairly good.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go quite that far. But anyway, Tui the juggler, is a local guy too.
Yes, he is.
He's so much fun to watch.
Yes.
Adults as well as kids love him.
Yes, that's exactly right. And sometimes, so I kind of have a rule of thumb is I like to have a individual performer or band or whatever. I usually like to try to keep them for 2 years and then change it up and bring in something different. But Tui has such a great following behind him, and he is local, and so I've kept him on a little bit longer than the 2 years. And I don't know, it's just something about that local talent that why not use it at the Rice County Fair? And he does a great job. He's fun to watch.
So give us, I'm sure you and Jerry talked about this before, but give us a few more details about the barn.
The barn, that's right. The barn it's got completed as far as it's going to be completed. As you all know, we did get some funding from the state of Minnesota through the Department of Agriculture, and it was enough to at least get the barn built this year. Of course, we built it kind of with modern traditions, and we'll try to decorate it on the inside with the way barns were built years ago.
Okay, so what era is this from? The 20s? Is that what I remember?
Oh, be probably a little bit before the 20s. You know, and the great thing about this is, you know, they can find a starting point and they can spend several years, you know, and then I think it's going to be a lot of fun just to kind of bring these exhibits up, you know, through the years, you know, and hopefully up until modern times, you know, and so, you know, I'm sure, you know, technology is going to play a big part of it, because obviously, you know, you can't do and make things different. I mean, you know, you're not going to put a robot in there,
right?
And so
this is a replica.
It's going to be a replica of what it was like. You know, it's only 26 by 26, so I think we'll be very easily able to get our point across, what we're trying to do, and I just know that the historical side, they got all kinds of ideas, but you know, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for all those ideas to materialize. They're working on it effortlessly. They have a lot of pictures lined up, a lot of displays that they are going to be having in the barn this first time. You know, we got a little bit of a late start on building the barn, you know, with the weather and then the rain that all set in. So it delayed us a little bit, but we did manage to get it up, and there's, you know, the doors aren't on it yet, but you know, that's something that's all going to happen after the fair. And I really just see the future of this exhibit to just develop into something really special.
Yeah, well, I could see, you know, maybe a one disc plow out front, or
yeah, that's right. You know, eventually, you know, I know that Sue and her group over at the Historical Society, they're going to come up with some pretty good programs during the day. I mean, you know, I'm sure eventually you'll see a cow tied up in there, or probably a horse or two, you know, and it'd be kind of nice just to spend, you know, just exactly, you know, what happened to this product after, you know, what happens to the milk after it was milked. How did they take care of it? You know, now it goes into a bulk tank, and you know that milk never touches a person's hands once it comes out of the cow. You know, it's you know, goes through a pipeline into the bulk tank and then into the truck to take it to the processing plant. It gets processed, bottled, and you know, it never goes through anybody's hands. You know, I think that's pretty amazing. And but you know, years ago, you know, what did you do with this milk, and how did you keep it, and you know, how did you keep it cold, and you know, now everybody wants a cold glass of milk. Well, you know, years ago, how did you get that milk cold? And
right.
I'm sure those are all things that down the line will be explained. And you know, not only that, but you know, how did people acquire the farmland, and how did they go about, you know, financing it and building it? And you know, you moved out and all there was trees around, you know, and you know, a lot of people don't know that, you know, many of these trees were cut down, and actually that wood was made into the lumber to build these houses and barns, and you know, to be able to portray that and explain that to the public, I really think that you know, that opens the door for some great programming.
Again, that's the educational piece
that's that, right,
I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. You know, one of my goals, Jerry, with the Rice County Fair is you know, not only to have it be entertaining. You know, everybody wants to be entertained, and I want everybody to come out and have a good time, but I would also like people to go away with the thought that they learned something at the fair, you know, that we had something educational in a fun way at the fair. And that's one of the goals that I strive to meet with my board and other organizations that I work with. You know, how can we make this entertaining and educational at the same time? And my gal that's going to be doing the daycare day, you know, she's going to try to introduce the STEM program, what they're doing in school. You know, I think it's science, technology, engineering, and I forget what the M stands for. I guess I need to go back to school.
Oh, that's okay.
But you know, they're trying to bring these ideas in and incorporate them into the fair, and I think that's really a great thing, because you know, what better way is to plant the seed into a young child's brain and say, hey, you know, this is what can be done, you know, and I think, you know, when these young individuals are just looking for knowledge, what a great place to get some of this knowledge at the fair.
You got a church service on the fairgrounds.
We have a church service planned for Sunday. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that one off yet. The minister that I had planned that was going to be there all of a sudden has an emergency service that she has to be at. Apparently, where she was going to be, they had some changes, and one of the ministers left, so she became the main minister. And
well, maybe Jerry could be the minister.
Maybe so. You know, if we don't have a service, I do have a bluegrass band that's going to be coming in, and I had them lined up to play. So maybe we'll have them just play some spiritual songs, and we can sit there and reflect on some of the songs and be entertained by them. And
you don't necessarily have to have a sermon for a church service.
That's exactly right. So it'd be a time for people just to come
now,
and
every
sit and
preacher
meditate.
in Rice County just, you know, they're going to let me know what they think about that. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. But you know, we'll figure something out between now and then, and we'll have it on your radio station.
Back in the day, John, you probably know this from the history of the fair. You know, you're a bit of a history buff. In the early days of fairs, they had church services, and they didn't necessarily have they called them rallies, right? They had religious rallies of the fairs.
That's right.
So anyway, that's something to look forward to. We only got a minute left in the show.
Wow,
so
how time flies.
Anything you want to hammer home before we get going?
You know what? Just everybody come out and have a great time. You know, there's a lot of people that put their heart and soul into it. I want to thank these people, and then I always want to thank all of the, I call them the faribault widows. It's all the spouses that have to stay home and take care of the home when their spouse is out working at the fair. You know, I appreciate you, you know, being so understanding and letting your spouse come out and work at the fair. We need them. We need the volunteers. You know, it's a big part of our fair, and we couldn't do this without the volunteers that we get. So I just want to put a hats off to all the people that make the Rice County Fair a great event for the year.
Yeah, well, you couldn't ask, as I mentioned earlier, for a better forecast. If the forecasters are right, 83 tomorrow.
Yeah.
79 or 80 on Wednesday.
Yes.
Thursday, Friday in the mid-70s.
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday, 80 and 82.
Yep. You know, it's going to be a perfect morning for our farm program that we have, the breakfast that we have, honoring our farmer of the year.
We'll be broadcasting that for those who can't make it, but we would encourage you to come on out, of course.
It's always a good time. We get a free breakfast that's sponsored, and we'll see everybody there.
Thanks, John.